Where do we go? There. I'm like, what just happened? Like, I'm like this. I'm like, and then we're gone. I'm like,
He probably
we just dropping the fence up, and then he just messes up with us, right? What's up?
Right.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Welcome back to the Penalty Box, sponsored by the Woodstock Inn and Brewery up in New Hampshire. Amazing people up there. Didn't you stay there like a week ago or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we had a video shoot. Shooting some product, which is great, and stayed overnight. It was awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, it looks like a cool place. I love some of the. How many of the cans and the designs on those cans have you done personally?
We've been their agency now for about 7 months, and we've redesigned probably about 8.
Yeah. And not to go down this rabbit hole, but I guess the label on a beer can is got to be just really important, right? Because it grabs your attention in the store, it's got to be huge, right?
Right. Well, so we just did a direct mail piece to other breweries and we actually said that you make it taste good, we make it look good.
Nice. Gosh, there's a reason why you own. God, you're amazing. Shout out to our boy Randy Chafee. Yes, Randy, you're first. You're first on Facebook and YouTube. Boom. Look at that. Well, let's kick this off with some shots on goal.
Sure. Why don't you go first today?
Caroline. All right. Well, I can't just do one shot on goal. I always like to bring 3,
Oh, okay.
I got kind of an odd shot on goal. Sarah Fuller, if you don't know that name, Sarah Fuller was the first female to play in a Power 5 football conference game last weekend. She was the kicker for Vanderbilt. Came in a game they were getting shellacked like 46-0 or something, and she did the kickoff for the second half. Part of me, I have an 8-year-old daughter and a 19-month-old daughter. Part of me, like, as a girl dad now, like, I think that stuff's really cool, right? Or they made a big deal a year ago about the first female CEO of Yahoo, and it was like first female like part of me, I love it, right? Because I want my girls to be able to do whatever they want. I don't want them to have a glass ceiling, look up and go, I can't go any farther than that.
Right.
And I love it, but at the same time, when it does happen, if we make a big deal about it, like we make a big deal about it, just let it happen. Just let it be. Let that be a thing, and don't make a big deal about it. Because I think that's some of the myths. And I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
I do.
Do we have to say first female CEO of Yahoo? I don't care. I just care that she's good at her job. I care that Sarah Fuller kicked well, and apparently she did. So I get it, but I don't get it. So good morning to Kellen. Good morning, Robert. Second shot on goal.
Let me just say something about that. I think until it becomes more commonplace, they're going to run with it as a story. Eventually, when it's just this person did a great job, then
it goes away. Yeah. So I'm excited for her. Congratulations. They also announced her as special teams player of the week for the SEC, which is cool. Probably took away. Can you imagine some dude kicked like 5 field goals and one was 60 yards? And he's like, damn it. Sarah Fuller. He now hates that woman for the rest of his life, right? My second shot on goal, thank you to Netflix. Christmas Chronicles 2 is out. I don't know if you've seen Christmas Chronicles 1. My daughter absolutely loves it, so we've watched Christmas Chronicles 2 now, and it's pretty good. I've seen a couple of reviews from adults like you Tim, online that have been like, "Oh, this is so stupid." Well, you're not an 8-year-old little girl either that loves Christmas and thinks it's amazing. So shut up. That's my second shot. Yeah, I know. My last shot on goal. A gentleman named, I want to pronounce this right, Benoit Brunel in France, now holds the Guinness record for, thank you, Kellen, for sharing, now holds the Guinness record for the most different types of cheeses on a pizza.
Oh, okay.
254 different types of cheeses were on this pizza. In other news, Benoit Brunel has also not pooped for a week.
I can hear Benoit's arteries hardening as we speak.
Yes. Your turn, sir.
All right. So last Saturday, I went over to a friend's house, Don, and I know that he's not listening because he's not on Facebook. And I wasted 4 hours of my life watching the Tyson fight, right?
Yes.
And so there were a bunch of undercards, they meant nothing. In between every undercard was a mini rap concert that I couldn't understand a damn word anyone was saying.
Did you also yell "Get off my lawn"? Or
I probably did. Then this YouTuber Jake Paul knocks out a basketball player. That was awesome. He hit him. His head hit the thing, and that was that. But the star of the night was Snoop Dogg, right? And so Snoop Dogg, and I almost messed myself. It was so funny, and apparently it's made news. When Tyson and they both looked tired and old when they got out there, right? Especially Roy Jones, And Snoop says, "Oh man, it's like my uncle's fighting at a barbecue."
I heard that. I'm like, that is awesome, because I saw some of the clips and it was like that. Two of your uncles fighting at a barbecue.
So the funniest thing, the next day, you get these kind of headlines that say from the Insider and Fox News, Snoop Dogg smoked weed, hilariously commented, and won the night. Come on.
Now, I read also that Mike Tyson smoked a little pot before he went out.
Yeah, that's what I heard. It was a money grab. I was doing celebrity net worth, while I'm there, right? So Tyson, and then we can move on after this. Tyson, because I'll save my other two shots on goal for another time. But Tyson made $450 million in purses and $700 million in endorsements in his career. Over $1 billion. He just, with that fight the other night, he doubled his net worth.
Yeah, I say, didn't he make $10 million on that?
Yep, his net worth was $3 million going into that fight.
Golly, that's crazy. Do you ever go down those rabbit holes where you start Googling up like celebrities' net worth?
I do it all the time.
One of the interesting things, I just started listening to country music in the last couple of years, and I love it now, right? And Toby Keith, who was, I guess, maybe big in the 90s, I can't stand to listen to Toby Keith or Garth Brooks for that matter. Those two, I'll change the station if they come on. But Toby Keith is one of the biggest net worth of country stars, like $500 million.
Yeah.
In all these businesses and restaurants and all this other stuff, which is part on his part, but I can't stand to listen to that guy. I think he yodels it like his vibrato makes me want to puke in my mouth. So, there's Caroline right there. So,
so lastly, I checked out Hall and Oates.
Get off my lawn. Why you?
Their Hall is worth twice, if not three times, that Oates is. But then again, he wrote all the music. So
yeah, he wrote the songs, and he also have you watched? And I'm going to get off that lawn myself now. It'd be old, but he has like a VH1 with people that come into his studio and play with him and record with him, and it's actually pretty cool. Before we get Caroline, I'll tell you my Hall and Oates story. They came to Tulsa. This has to have been, 8-9 years ago now. And they played at the casino here, and nice, really nice place, right? And it's had some really good seats. They came on and played 4 songs, right? They hadn't played Maneater, 4 songs. And Daryl Hall's like, "Good night, Tulsa. We'll see you next time." And they went off stage. And everybody, the lights, they did that 3 times. And it must have just because they were old. Maybe they just needed like a breather or
oxygen.
But they did that, like another 4 songs. Good night, Tulsa, and everybody was like, "What?" And they did Maneater last, and then they were really done. But they actually were really good. So, speaking of man eaters,
segue.
She may eat our lunch today, but our guest today is Caroline Mathias and Wesley. Viv. You want to pull her up? There she is. I'm going to introduce her, I guess, in kind of a strange way. I've known Caroline from a long time ago, and we've followed each other on social media. And one of the first questions I want to ask you when we get going is, there had to have been an aha moment for you, and I want to talk about what that is. But Caroline is I'm just going to freaking say it, a fitness guru, and she's blowing up. She's an author. She's absolutely incredible. She has a beautiful family, and she has just animals. I'm surprised she doesn't have an elephant at her house at this point.
Yeah.
But Caroline, welcome to the penalty box. And I want to ask you just straight up from the get-go, what was the aha moment for you? And maybe you could tell some of your backstory to get to that point.
The aha moment for like how I came to do all of this, or
Sure. Your transformation.
Okay. So number one, I feel like I have to kind of let the cat out of the bag. Like I curse quite a lot. So I'm going to say the fuck word probably quite a bit.
There we go.
Good night, America.
Bye. That's just kind of how I roll and who I am. And I don't try to censor it anymore. So
Cool.
yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. So give us some backstory and how you get to the point of you I think you had like some postpartum depression, you were drinking a lot, and then all of a sudden one day did something just click and you're like, I'm not doing this anymore, and you went on this journey to a fitness guru?
Yes. It kind of was like a light bulb that clicked. When you do the same thing over and over in your life and you're not really happy and you don't ever really do anything to fix it, that's kind of where I was at. And then after I had my daughter, I was dealing with postpartum depression, which magnified everything. It made it very big and loud and scary. And I started drinking because I did not know how else to cope. I never had any coping skills growing up. And so I just took to the bottle, started drinking, made everything way worse. And then it really did get to a point where it wasn't about my body. And that sounds weird because of what I do now, but it had nothing to do with how I looked. It was how I saw myself internally. My life was pretty much crumbling around me. I was fighting with all my friends. Me and my husband were having problems because I was off in another world. And everything kind of just came to a head one day where I was just like, I knew I had something better like in life to offer. I really did. And I just hired a coach one day and I said, I've had enough of my own bullshit. I'm done. Like this time I'm done. Like I'm not doing this again. I'm not starting a diet and then quitting. Like I've had enough. And pretty much the rest is history. That's what I did. I just stuck to it for the first time in my life. And then I realized that through discipline and doing things that were bringing good things into my life, it literally changed everything around me that I wasn't expecting. It changed my friendships, my family relationships, my marriage, my relationship with my kids. And then now I have a business out of it. So that's kind of the culprit.
One of the things that you just said regarding it changed your friends and maybe it changed the friends you had, their relationship with you. But, we used to go out a lot back when Julie and I were single and together before we got married. And it's amazing how your bar friends, they ain't your friends.
No. They don't care about you. And, I really got lucky. I didn't have a lot of those relationships where I didn't really have any friends just kind of drop me when I started my transformation. But I also have evolved so much that I still like those people. We just aren't really friends anymore.
Right.
It's kind of how it goes. I mean, you run with different people and you evolve.
Yeah. Yeah. Timmy?
Yeah, so I confessed to you earlier that I couldn't sleep last night, so I binged watched a couple of your podcasts, and if anyone gets a chance, go to her YouTube page, because you're not going to get the run of the mill, eat this, don't do that, lift this, that kind of crap. It is raw and it's right out front. And you talked about something that's really near and dear to my heart, and I've got a couple questions about. Well, first of all, I want to say how sorry I am about Lou. All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was touching. As a huge dog lover myself, I've been there a number of times, and yeah. So, but talk about for someone who is OCD, which is me, can't leave the house or the office if everything's not perfect because when I come back. Talk about someone with OCD and how a work-life balance works for you, and maybe give some people out there some hope that it is possible.
Well, first of all, I had no idea that you struggle with OCD as well. And so my heart goes out to you because I know how sometimes it's debilitating. And if you're trying to just do your job, period, it's hard. And I want to kind of say, I talked about this on the episode with my sister. People, I feel like kind of toss around that phrase now, like OCD. I'm really like things clean. I have actually it's a diagnosis and I have it. I've been diagnosed from my therapist with it, obsessive compulsive disorder. And as a child, I took to I would wake up in the middle of the night and have to go in my parents' bathroom and open and shut the doors. And
oh, really?
I knew it was
now that's some super strange shit right there. Yes, so continue.
Yeah, it was very, very strange. However, I remember knowing that wasn't normal. I was like, my sister doesn't do this. I don't see my parents doing this. Why do I have to do this? And
right.
I want to say that I didn't let it get crazy bad, but I am a perfectionist. So I want things just so. Well, when you have kids, that shit ain't happening. You have to kind of just relinquish, which makes it hard sometimes when you still try to hold on to that control over everything. Work-life balance is tough. It's tough. And I'm not even going to try to say that I have it mastered and under control. There's days where my husband's like, okay, you've been on the phone. I know you got clients coming in, but it's enough. Now it's family time. And it's fucking hard. So I still try to juggle everything, but I want to be 100% at everything. I want to be 100% at my fitness, my family, my job, kids. I want 100%. That's how I've been my whole life. And so realizing that I physically can't, as one human, we can't physically be 100% at all of these aspects that we've got up in the air. We have to sometimes just accept that you might be 30% today at your job and 14% with your marriage. And you just have to ride the fucking wave and just be on it for whatever that day is bringing. So,
well, you had said in one of the episodes that sometimes you just can't breathe. You want to run away, and then you realize that you can't do it all. I mean, my God, that's a T-shirt, isn't it? Yeah.
I should make a T-shirt out of that. It's so true.
Hey, one of the things, I was on a call, and I was on a Zoom or a podcast thing last week with Mike Brooks, and he called social media a moving parade. And when he said that, I instantly said, "Oh, I'm going to now use that as my own." Right. So I'm going to throw this out to you that you can use as your own, because I don't believe in work-life balance. I believe in work-life integration. Mm-hmm. And so you do have to find today this works and tomorrow that works. And so right. You can borrow that. I want to ask you about something that maybe kind of a funny thing, or you may drop the F-bomb on this one, but I want to talk about the elephant that's not in the room.
Okay.
So you had some implants removed.
Yes.
And can you talk about for health reasons, and you felt like your facial structure changed, and right? And can you talk about that?
Yes, I will happily talk about this. Obviously right now it is, and probably forever, it's going to be another thing that I'm ridiculously passionate about talking and sharing, because I feel like it's starting to gain traction in just kind of everybody's community, society. People are starting to pay more attention to breast implant illness. 10 years ago, you would have been laughed at. If you even said those words, someone would have said, you are so full of shit. It's not real. It's not scientific. It's not a diagnosis. But yep. I have spoken to over 100 women personally who all share the same, 30, 35 symptoms, and they're weird as fuck. If you went to a doctor, which I have, and I don't really want to get too into depth with the financial aspect. I've dumped thousands of dollars, not only on getting them obviously put in, but then when I started getting sick, I was going to specialists, doctors. I went to an ENT, and I said, my ear is muffled. Something's wrong with my ear. My primary care said, go to an ENT. Well, he looked
wait, hold on. Were your implants that big that they were covering your ear? I mean, that was the problem. Sorry, I had to ask. Continue.
That's good.
No, they were actually
she was popular. Leave her alone.
Yeah. I'm gonna get you, Eric. No. But anyway, he basically was no, gold star, your ear's perfect, both of them. And I was like, But this one is like, I can't hear out of it. It's muffled. And he said, well, let's do an audiology test just to make sure. And then the audiologist was like, oh no, it's great. Like there's nothing wrong with your ear. So I spent $400 for them to tell me nothing was wrong. And what's funny is after I got them out, that was one of the symptoms that like, just, I woke up from surgery and my ear was fine. Like it's been fine ever since. I can't explain it. I don't like it. When you try to explain it to people, they're like, yeah, all right. I'm like, I swear. I mean, I've had like, not to go too TMI, but like bladder issues is a very common symptom with breast implant illness. You're like physically unable to empty your bladder. And you sit there and you're like, okay, so something's wrong. This isn't functioning right. And then you go to the urologist. They diagnosed me with overactive bladder a week before my surgery and put me on medication. I didn't take it because I knew, I just had a gut feeling it was going to fix itself. And it did. Again, I woke up from surgery, like haven't had a problem since. So there's a lot of women. I consider myself very lucky to have been able to afford the cost of an explant because it's not cheap. And
is it cheaper to remove than it is to have put in?
Well, it depends. It's about the same. When I paid to have mine put in, which was 13 years ago, prices have gone up a little. I think I paid $6,000 to have them in. My explant with the lift was like $7,000. So if I had chosen to get new ones, it would have been probably $11,000. So yes, it's cheaper, but I mean, it's like, that's a hunk of money. And I know women personally who are sick as fuck and cannot financially afford to get them out. And it breaks my heart because I know that's the answer to like them getting their life back. And I say it sounds dramatic, but it really kind of is because for the past 2 years, I've been dealing with a lot of health issues and haven't been able to work out, and it fucks with my mental state, and that then fucks with everything else, and I have to try to manage everything. And since I've had them removed, I mean, about 25 of my 30 symptoms have just gone away. So
wow.
By the way, Mark Gassert said, Eric asking about implants. What the hell, dog? Yeah, Mark, this is part of her story. And if you follow her on social media, on Instagram, she does an incredible job on social media. And it's part of your story. And you talk about it because it obviously there are probably other women in your community that are probably struggling with the same thing. So that costs a lot of money. Mm-hmm. So segue into how much does it cost to join Community with Caroline?
Well,
get some new people signed up.
Just to join, like our Facebook community group is absolutely free. So we're always like telling our existing members, like invite your friends and family. It's free. It is such an amazing community of women, and we share. It's essentially like this. And I've set the bar to where there's no bullshit. We are real. We share everything. It is not like just a bunch of random motivational posts. We share recipes, like good recipes, not like chicken and rice. We share struggles, triumphs. I mean, it's a bunch of like-minded women just like me who don't like the bullshit, and we want to reach our goals, but we want to eat cheese fries during.
What's your favorite Queen song? You have to pick one.
Somebody to Love. That's my favorite.
So, Adam Lambert, you a fan?
I am a huge fan of Adam Lambert. I actually took my son to see Queen with Adam Lambert in Houston last year, and it was amazing. I get really, Eric probably knows this about me. I'm like I've jumped off into the water Queen fan. Like I'm out proud about it.
It's all out there. Yeah, it's all out there.
And a lot of people, I hate when people are like mean about Adam Lambert. He is, if you watch him in concert, he is so like, I don't know. He gives Freddie all the honor, and he doesn't ever try to say I'm better or I'm trying to emulate. He's like, I'm honoring him and the songs he wrote for this band. And I think it's cool as shit that they're still playing them. How many years later? How awesome is that?
No kidding.
You know, I saw him on the show maybe a year ago. Maybe it was New Year's Eve or something like that. And it was Queen or whatever. And it was funny because back during his American Idol days, or as he kind of did, I always felt like he was like some grungy 80s butt rocker that was just, I just couldn't like, but in that to somewhat portray Freddie Mercury and he's phenomenal.
He is
really phenomenal.
Yeah. His vocal range is crazy.
Yeah, he won American Idol, didn't he?
Yeah.
No,
no. I don't think he won. I think he was runner up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Queen asked him to come on tour. And I'm like, well, shit, I would have taken that too. Second place.
No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes second isn't all that bad.
No.
We've got a couple minutes left before we end this and we go to the OT and record some stuff. One of the questions, what 2 or 3 foods do we eat that we think are healthy that aren't?
So the first rule that I tell anyone, especially all my clients, community girls, that no food is bad and no food is good. So food is food across the board. When you stop thinking about, oh, I'm eating a grilled chicken or I'm eating nachos, this is bad. It's not, it's just food. And then you think, oh, well, today I had a grilled chicken salad. I'm doing really good. Well, when you look at it as just across the board, they're all the same, it kind of takes that fear away from like judging yourself if you're eating something as opposed to something else. And to be quite frank, if you go to a salad or a restaurant or a salad, you think you're doing really well. 10 times out of 10, that salad has triple the calories of ordering like a cheeseburger and fries. And most people, a lot of women are like, no. I'm like, yeah, the dressing alone is like 2,000 calories. They're not putting a tablespoon on there. They're drenching it. So like just the knowledge of knowing that like some foods, I would say probably like olive oils and avocados. Yeah, those are healthy fats. But I see a lot of women coming to me and saying, I can't lose weight. I'm like, well, I see what you're eating and you're eating a lot of healthy fat, but you're consuming like 5,000 calories a day. You're not going to lose weight because you're not in a deficit. So. Yeah.
I love people too that think that if I go to like Louis and I get a wrap, like that's like that tortilla is not like that's not low calorie.
No.
You talk a lot about, I hear you, and I don't like, this is like the teacher on Charlie Brown. Womp, womp, womp. Like, you talk a lot about macros and all. And maybe you can take a minute or two and talk about how that works in. I know you can't like boil that all down to a minute or two, but how. But you talk about calories and macros and all sorts of stuff with the people that you help, right?
Yes. Macros is pretty much how we run. I mean, it's the basis of our program and how our clients make progress. And at the end of the day, I always say, like, when you join Community with Caroline and we teach you macros, you'll never diet again. You will never diet again. It's the end all be all. When you understand what a macronutrient is and you understand that there's 3, protein, carb, and fat, and you understand that you have to hit a certain amount of those every day, that's it. Like and then you start tracking and you see, oh, well, I know that an avocado is like my entire day worth of fat.
Right.
I mean, and then you think about, oh shit, remember that day I went to a Mexican restaurant and had like a basket of chips and guacamole, and then I ate all this other stuff. Like you really start to understand, this is why I haven't been reaching my goals, because I'm simply eating more than I'm burning. And macronutrients are, once you learn what they are and how they work for you, then you don't ever have to diet. You kind of understand the game.
Yeah, very cool. Timmy, you got any more questions before we wrap this up for today?
Yeah, in case someone's not going to watch I don't know whether I'm going to ask the Hooters question or actually, I think I'd just rather have you plug your book. Tell everyone about your book.
Okay. First of all, I love Hooters, and I worked there for a long time, and I have some of my lifelong friends that I met working there. But I will plug.
The question wasn't about the outfit; it was about whether you like the wings.
Yeah, it was about the buffalo wings. I mean, they're
right.
My book, One More Bite, is actually on Amazon. It's on my website, caroline.fit, in the store where we have merch. We have T-shirts and tanks and hoodies and stuff. It's essentially just me talking about all of my issues for my whole life with food, and food basically ruled my life for 30 years. And then, kind of took me to a really dark place right before my transformation. So I kind of talk about how I switched that and started working towards reaching my goals, and then learning that shit, this doesn't have to be so fucking hard. And, just basically sharing my story. I actually just finished writing my second book, and my sister is editing it. It should be out 2021. And that's like, it'll be.
I remember when you released your book and you had bought like, I can't remember how many copies you had, and it just kind of blew up. You were like, I gotta order more, right? Didn't that happen?
That was weird. I honestly wasn't expecting that. I figured I would order, I think I ordered 50 copies, and I knew my family and close friends would want a copy. And so I was like having so much fun shipping them and mailing them from my house. And then all of these, I just posted a picture and was like, hey, if you want on the pre-order list, like, let me know. And all these people started messaging me, and I had to have Dana, my coach, who it basically helps me run CWC. I was like,
that's Dana Burke?
Yes, that's Dana Burke. Yeah, we were like a crazed shipping team for like probably 3 months of like just orders kept coming in, and it was so awesome. So I was signing them and writing notes in there, and people loved it. And I mean, it's just me talking about all this shit raw. I don't hold anything back. So
awesome.
Can your book, can they get it on Amazon? Can they get it on your website? Where can they get it? Both?
It's on Amazon and it's on my website.
So what's the title of it on Amazon?
The title is One More Bite.
Nice. Okay. Which is, by the way, before we get out of here, we'll leave Caroline on as we finish up. But a couple of things I'm reading right now. I'm reading Unsliced by Mike Bausch, Andolini's Pizza, Tulsa, Oklahoma. This is really good. And I think I showed this last week, but Larry Levine sent me Selling from the Heart, which I've started reading, and is a phenomenal freaking book. But this one's near and dear to my heart because I'm actually in the book. So Unsliced by Mike Bausch is available on Amazon, along with Carolyn's book, One More Bite. I think we'll just go maybe a minute or two more here. But does anybody have any questions for Caroline? If you do, throw them in the comments. Because I think, there are probably some of her group on here watching, probably. How many tattoos do you have?
Oh, God. How many?
Well, this one now is continuous, right? Do you just call that one tattoo? How does that work?
Yeah, I've got,
Whoa, leave your shirt on. This is a kid show.
I have tattoos.
Another first.
I got
Another first.
This is actually a zodiac star cluster of my sister and our zodiac signs. And she actually drew it. She sketched that. And then I had the tattoo.
Oh, very cool.
Is that your favorite one?
Favorite tattoo yet? Well, yeah, I have to say that if she's watching. No. And then I've got the arms. My whole back is completely done too. And that was more painful. My husband loves when I say this, but my back tattoo was worse than birthing 2 children. It was terrible.
Well, we're going to end on this because there are no questions, but Tim does have a Penalty Box Live tramp stamp, and it's incredible. I've seen it. So
what?
So,
Caroline,
thank you.
Picture of him
on today, and thank you so much, Timmy. Next week we've got Rev Ciencio on, who is a social media strategist, incredible with restaurants on how to take their business back from third-party apps. He's absolutely amazing. There he is, right there. And he loves to eat and eats a lot. He's actually doing a weight loss challenge right now as well. But we're going to get out of here. Caroline, thank you. We'll see you on the OT. And we're just I'm going to take my blazer off, and we're just going to really get after it. So thank you for being on. And Timmy, nothing but love. We're going to get out of here. Be incredible, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you.